If you're tired of the same boring lunch that leaves you hungry an hour later, Mediterranean flavors are the answer you've been looking for. Most people think healthy lunches have to be bland or complicated, but this collection proves you can have bold, satisfying meals without spending hours in the kitchen. One smart swap in these recipes, like using roasted chickpeas instead of croutons, gives you that craveable crunch without any gluten or dairy. Stick around, because each idea is designed to fit into your real-life schedule, whether you meal prep or just need a quick fix. These are the kind of lunches that make everyone at the table feel included, even picky eaters or family members with food allergies. Think creamy hummus bowls, crispy falafel wraps, fresh tomato salads, and rich roasted vegetables that taste like sunshine. You'll discover how simple ingredients can transform into a week's worth of meals that actually keep you full and happy. Let's dive into this roundup of Mediterranean lunch ideas you'll want to make on repeat. Let me start with a Mediterranean lunch that feels like a warm hug in a bowl. This creamy lemon herb orzo salad is perfect for those days when you want something satisfying but not too heavy. You cook the orzo until tender, then toss it with a simple dressing made from lemon juice, olive oil, and fresh herbs like parsley and dill. I like to add in some chopped cucumber and cherry tomatoes for that fresh crunch, and maybe a handful of crumbled feta if you tolerate dairy. The whole thing comes together in about 15 minutes, which makes it a dream for busy afternoons. For an allergy-friendly swap, you can use a dairy-free feta alternative or just skip the cheese entirely. The bright lemon flavor and creamy texture make this one of those lunches you actually look forward to eating. Now, if you want something with a little more protein to keep you going, let me share another idea. Next up, we have stuffed bell pepper bowls that are basically a full meal in a colorful package. These work great for meal prep because you can make a batch and grab them all week. You start by having some bell peppers and scooping out the seeds, then fill them with a mixture of cooked quinoa, chickpeas, and diced tomatoes. I like to season everything with cumin, paprika, and a pinch of garlic powder for that warm Mediterranean vibe. Pop them in the oven until the peppers are tender and the filling is heated through, which takes about 20 minutes. If you want to add some ground meat, turkey or lamb works beautifully, but the chickpea version is just as filling. The best part is how the peppers get slightly sweet and smoky as they roast, making every bite interesting. Let me tell you about another dish that uses similar ingredients but feels completely different. This next one is a Mediterranean chickpea salad wrap that I make at least twice a week. It is perfect for when you need a quick lunch that does not require any cooking or heating up. You mash some chickpeas with a fork until they are a little chunky, then mix in chopped red onion, celery, and a generous amount of tahini. I add a splash of lemon juice and a sprinkle of sumac for that tangy, bright flavor that makes Mediterranean food so good. Then you just pile the mixture onto a large tortilla or flatbread, add some lettuce leaves, and roll it up tight. For a gluten-free version, you can use a big collard green leaf or a gluten-free wrap instead. This wrap is creamy, crunchy, and so satisfying that you will not miss the traditional chicken salad at all. Stick around because I have a warm option coming up that is just as easy to throw together. This list of Mediterranean lunch ideas is perfect for mixing and matching. Which one would you try first? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe you are cooking for a dairy-free or nut-free household, or you just want something fresh and filling. Either way, I would love to hear your pick. While you're here, hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss our next recipe roundup. Keep watching for more tasty ideas coming up next. Here is a fun one, roasted eggplant and tomato pita pizzas that feel like a treat but are totally simple. These are great for a lazy lunch when you want something a little special without much effort. You just take a few pita breads, brush them with olive oil, and top them with sliced eggplant, cherry tomatoes, and a sprinkle of oregano. Roast them in the oven for about 10 minutes until the edges are crispy and the vegetables are soft and caramelized. I like to finish them with a drizzle of tahini or a few fresh basil leaves right before serving. If you want extra protein, you can add some crumbled tofu or a handful of olives on top before roasting. The combination of soft roasted vegetables and crispy pita is so good that you will forget you are eating something healthy. Now, let me move on to a bowl-style dish that is perfect for using up leftover vegetables. This next dish is a Mediterranean lentil and spinach soup that warms you up from the inside out. It is perfect for those cooler days when you want something hearty but still light and fresh. You start by sautéing some onion and garlic in olive oil, then add red lentils, vegetable broth, and a big handful of chopped spinach. I like to stir in a teaspoon of cumin and a pinch of cinnamon for that cozy, slightly sweet flavor that makes Mediterranean soup so special. Let it simmer for about 20 minutes until the lentils are soft and the soup is thick and comforting. For a little extra richness, you can swirl in a spoonful of tahini right before serving, which adds a nice creaminess. This soup is so simple and satisfying that you will want to make a big batch to have all week. And if you are in the mood for something cold and crunchy instead, I have one more idea that will hit the spot. Last for this first part, I have a Greek-style cucumber and tomato salad that is the definition of fresh and easy. This one is perfect for when you want a no-cook lunch that still feels like a real meal. You just chop up some cucumbers, ripe tomatoes, and red onion, then toss them with a simple dressing of olive oil, red wine vinegar, and dried oregano. I like to add a handful of Kalamata olives and some fresh parsley for that extra burst of flavor. Let it sit for a few minutes so the vegetables soak up all that tangy dressing, and you have a salad that tastes better than anything from a store. For a dairy-free version, you can skip the feta or use a sprinkle of nutritional yeast for a cheesy flavor without the dairy. This salad is so bright and refreshing that it makes you feel like you are eating lunch by the sea. Now, let me get into the next part where I will show you how to turn these ideas into a full week of lunches. Next up is a roasted red pepper and hummus grain bowl that feels like a full meal in one dish. It's perfect for a hearty lunch that keeps you satisfied without weighing you down. Start with a base of fluffy couscous or quinoa, then pile on creamy hummus and strips of roasted red peppers. Add some crisp cucumber slices, a handful of Kalamata olives, and a sprinkle of crumbled feta if you tolerate dairy. A drizzle of lemon tahini dressing ties everything together with a bright, nutty finish. For a nut-free version, simply swap tahini for sunflower seed butter in the dressing. Each bite gives you that perfect mix of creamy, crunchy, and tangy that makes lunch feel special. Now let's move to a seafood option that comes together in under 10 minutes. Mediterranean tuna salad stuffed avocados are a no-cook lunch that looks and tastes impressive. They work great when you want something protein-packed but still light and fresh. Mix canned tuna with chopped red onion, diced celery, and a generous spoonful of Greek yogurt or mashed chickpeas. Add some chopped sun-dried tomatoes and a squeeze of lemon juice for that Mediterranean kick. Scoop the mixture into halved avocados and top with a pinch of dried oregano. You can use drained canned salmon instead of tuna for a different flavor twist. The creamy avocado pairs so well with the tangy tuna salad that you'll forget it's healthy. Next, we have a classic street food turned into an easy lunch plate. If you love these Mediterranean lunch ideas, you will find even more at our website. Head over to www.healthybitestribe.com. There you can use our AI recipe generator to create meals that fit your exact needs. The meal planner helps you organize a whole week of lunches like these. You can save your favorite recipes and share them with friends or family. It is all designed to make cooking with allergies or restrictions simpler and more enjoyable. Think of it as your personal kitchen assistant. Check it out when you need more inspiration beyond this video. Baked falafel with tahini sauce is a crowd-pleasing lunch that's way simpler than deep frying. It fits right in because falafel is naturally gluten-free and can be made nut-free too. Pulse canned chickpeas with fresh parsley, garlic, cumin, and a little oat flour until it forms a dough. Roll into small balls, place on a lined baking sheet, and bake until golden and crispy. Serve them over a bed of mixed greens with cherry tomatoes, sliced radishes, and a generous drizzle of tahini sauce. To keep the falafel egg-free, simply skip the egg and add a splash of water if needed. The crunchy outside and soft inside make every bite satisfying without any greasy feeling. Let's shift to a vegetable-forward dish that works as a main or a side. Zucchini and feta fritters with tzatziki are a fun, pan-fried lunch that feels like a treat. They are perfect for using up summer zucchini, and they come together in one bowl. Grate zucchini, squeeze out the excess water, then mix with crumbled feta, a beaten egg, and a bit of chickpea flour. Form small patties and cook them in a skillet until golden on each side. While they cook, whisk together dairy-free yogurt with grated cucumber, garlic, and a splash of lemon juice for the tzatziki. For a dairy-free version, use a plant-based feta, or skip the cheese and add extra herbs. These fritters stay crisp on the outside and tender on the inside, especially when dunked in that cool sauce. Now we're heading to a quick skillet dish that brings bright lemon and garlic flavors. Lemon garlic shrimp with couscous is a speedy lunch that still feels elegant and fresh. It works perfectly for a busy day when you want something Mediterranean without much effort. Saute shrimp in olive oil with minced garlic and a pinch of red pepper flakes until pink. Squeeze fresh lemon juice over the top and toss in some chopped parsley for color. Serve the shrimp over a bed of fluffy Israeli couscous or regular couscous along with a handful of arugula. For a plant-based swap, use cubed firm tofu instead of shrimp and follow the same cooking method. The bright citrus and garlic make the shrimp pop, and the couscous soaks up all the great flavors. One more dish coming up that turns mushrooms into a hearty main course. Spinach and artichoke stuffed portobello mushrooms are a warm, comforting lunch that feels indulgent. They are naturally low-carb and can easily be made dairy-free or vegan. Remove the stems from large portobello caps and brush them with olive oil and a touch of balsamic. Mix chopped spinach, artichoke hearts, dairy-free cream cheese, and a pinch of nutmeg in a bowl. Stuff the mixture into the mushroom caps and bake until tender and bubbly on top. A sprinkle of nutritional yeast adds a cheesy flavor without any dairy. The mushrooms become juicy and meaty, while the filling stays creamy and savory with every forkful. Stick around because we've got one more Mediterranean lunch idea that's perfect for meal prep. Scene 13, Mediterranean baked sweet potato with tahini drizzle. This next one is a baked sweet potato situation that feels like a warm hug in a bowl. It works perfectly for this video because it's naturally gluten-free and can easily be made dairy-free or vegan. You just bake a couple of sweet potatoes until they're soft and tender, then split them open and fluff the insides with a fork. Top them with a generous scoop of creamy tahini sauce that you whisk together with a little lemon juice and garlic. Add a handful of chickpeas, some crumbled feta if you tolerate it, and a sprinkle of fresh parsley on top. For a nut-free version, use sunflower seed butter instead of tahini, and it still tastes amazing. The combination of the sweet potato with the tangy, nutty tahini is just so satisfying and cozy. It's one of those meals that feels like a treat, and the next dish is just as simple and full of flavor. Scene 14. Mediterranean quinoa, stuffed zucchini boats. These stuffed zucchini boats are a fun way to get your veggies in while still feeling like you're having a real meal. They're perfect for anyone looking for a lighter lunch that still has plenty of protein and fiber. You start by having some zucchinis lengthwise and scooping out the centers to create little boats. Mix cooked quinoa with chopped sun-dried tomatoes, olives, a bit of red onion, and some crumbled feta or a dairy-free alternative. Stuff the mixture into the zucchini halves, then bake them until the zucchini is tender and the filling is warm through. If you want to skip the quinoa, you can use cooked lentils or even a mix of chopped nuts for extra crunch. They're so colorful and pretty on the plate, and the flavor is bright and herby without being heavy. These are great for meal prep, and the next dish keeps that same Mediterranean vibe going. Scene 15, Mediterranean white bean and roasted red pepper dip. This white bean and roasted red pepper dip is basically a creamy, dreamy spread that you'll want to put on everything. It's a fantastic option for this video because it's naturally dairy-free and can be made nut-free without any trouble. You just blend a can of drained white beans with a couple of roasted red peppers from a jar, a little olive oil, and a squeeze of lemon. Add a clove of garlic and a pinch of smoked paprika for that warm, slightly smoky flavor. Blend until it's completely smooth, then taste and adjust the salt or lemon to your liking. Serve it with warm pita bread, crunchy veggie sticks, or even spread it on a sandwich for an easy lunch upgrade. It's so rich and velvety that you'd never guess it's made from simple pantry ingredients. This dip is a total crowd pleaser, and the next dish is another one that comes together in no time. Mediterranean grilled eggplant and pepper sandwiches. These grilled eggplant and pepper sandwiches are the kind of thing that makes you excited for lunchtime. They're perfect for this video because they're naturally vegan and can be made gluten-free with the right bread. You just slice a couple of eggplants and some bell peppers into thick strips, then grill or pan fry them until they're charred and soft. Layer them on a good crusty roll or a gluten-free bun with a smear of hummus and a handful of fresh arugula. Add a few slices of red onion and a drizzle of balsamic glaze for a little sweetness and tang. If you want to add some protein, throw in a few marinated chickpeas or a sprinkle of hemp seeds on top. The smoky flavor from the grilled veggies is just incredible, and it all comes together in about 15 minutes. These sandwiches are so satisfying, and the next dish is perfect for when you want something warm and comforting. Scene 17, Mediterranean baked eggplant and chickpea casserole. This baked eggplant and chickpea casserole is basically a one-dish wonder that feels like a big, warm hug. It works great for this video because it's naturally gluten-free and can easily be made vegan by skipping the cheese. You just layer sliced eggplant and canned chickpeas in a baking dish with a simple tomato sauce that's seasoned with oregano and garlic. Top it with a sprinkle of dairy-free cheese or a few breadcrumbs for a little crunch, then bake until everything is bubbly and golden. The eggplant gets so tender and almost creamy as it bakes, and the chickpeas soak up all that herby tomato flavor. For a lower carb version, you can swap the chickpeas for extra zucchini or even some chopped mushrooms. It's the kind of dish that tastes even better the next day, so leftovers are a real treat. This casserole is pure comfort food, and the last dish in this series is just as warm and satisfying. A satisfying 18, Mediterranean lemon and herb-baked fish with vegetables. For the final dish, we're going with a simple lemon and herb-baked fish that's light, fresh, and totally weeknight-friendly. It fits perfectly in this video because it's naturally low in common allergens and can be made with almost any white fish you like. You just place a few fillets of cod or tilapia in a baking dish with cherry tomatoes, sliced zucchini, and a few lemon slices. Drizzle everything with olive oil and sprinkle on some dried oregano, garlic powder, and a little salt. Bake it all together until the fish is flaky and the vegetables are tender and slightly caramelized. If you don't eat fish, you can use thick slices of tofu or even large portobello mushrooms and bake them the same way. The whole dish comes together in under 30 minutes, and it feels so fresh and bright without being complicated. This is the kind of meal that makes you feel good about what you're eating, and it's a perfect way to wrap up this whole collection of Mediterranean lunch ideas. And that wraps up our roundup of 18 Mediterranean lunch ideas you can enjoy all week. Whether you need something quick, plant-based, or gluten-free, there is a dish here for you. I hope this collection gives you fresh inspiration for your meal prep or lunch rotation. If you found these ideas helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Healthy Bites Tribe. For even more support, come join our community at www.healthybitestribe.com. There you will find an AI recipe generator, a meal planner, and tools to save and share your favorite recipes. You can also chat with others who understand cooking for allergies, restrictions, or just healthier eating. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video with more delicious ideas.